Welcome back to the Anxiety Slayer podcast. I'm Shann Vanderleek. Today I'll be discussing how to identify and address the symptoms of magnesium-deficient anxiety with my special guest, Dr. Carolyn Dean. Dr. Dean is a medical doctor and a naturopath. She's the author of over 35 books, including the bestseller The Magnesium Miracle and Magnesium-Deficient Anxiety. In 2011, she launched RnA Reset and brought her 50 years of experience into her proprietary, unique formulations that give every individual at any stage of wellness or illness the necessary building blocks for sustained health, vitality, and well-being. Welcome back to Anxiety Slayer, Dr. Dean.
Oh, thank you so much, Shannon. Please call me Carolyn.
I will, Carolyn. Thank you. And thanks for coming back to share your expertise. It's been 5 years since we last had a conversation about magnesium and how magnesium deficiency can wreak havoc on our bodies and our mental health. And I want to dig in deeper because I know you've done so much since then, and thought we could just start perhaps talking about the symptoms of magnesium deficient anxiety.
Yes, I thought what I do, Shan, is tell you about magnesium deficiency survey that I initiated since we last spoke, 2017. Well, in September 2019, I put this survey on our website. Very basic survey, so it's been up there now for almost 2 years. What we wanted to know is what percentage of people just driving by our website were experiencing insomnia, anxiety, muscle cramps, restless legs, heart palpitation, and tension headaches, and migraines. And what we found was just shocking. 70% of people said they experienced anxiety.
Wow.
70% of people just, oh, let's do. Let's see what this website has.
Yeah, sure.
And 70% as well, insomnia, 60% muscle cramps, 55% restless legs, 50% heart palpitations, and 40% migraines and tension headaches. So, you know what this told me, Shan, is that when people come to you or me with anxiety, they have a lot more going on. They're also not sleeping. They may have their muscle cramps and restless legs and heart palpitations with which freaks them out even more, and headaches. And that's only a drop in the bucket. I've listed 65 different symptoms and conditions that are related to magnesium deficiency. And most of them are treated with drugs, and
Yeah.
that adds to the symptomatology and the side because of the side effects of drugs or create other problems. So that's what I have to share with you. 70% of just the general public experiences anxieties. You're in such a very important position to help people because there's a lot of people out there suffering.
There sure are. And that's one of the reasons why I invited you to come back and talk with us, because I know that while that number is super high, I know that your expertise and what you share can help that number come down. If people understand that they're probably most likely magnesium deficient and they can start getting magnesium into their system, it's going to make a big difference. I know it has in my life.
Mm,
One of the things that we hear most often from the anxiety sufferers who listen in and who are part of our private groups and such tell us they're reluctant to take magnesium because they're already prone to digestive upsets. And
right.
and now I've talked to you about this before, so I know that there's certainly a choice around that. But let's talk about the best formulation for these folks who are
Hmm.
feeling like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to add anything more that's gonna
Hmm.
send me right to the bathroom.
Exactly. Yes. What Shan's talking about is most magnesiums have the laxative effect. In fact, that's what they do. They help you go to the bathroom, but you don't want to go in the form of the diarrhea that some people experience. I'm one of those people. So what happened with me, Shan, is in the late 1990s when Random House asked me to write a book on magnesium. I was living in Manhattan. I was doing some TV work there. It just came up that someone approached me about writing this book on magnesium. And I thought, how can I write 300 pages on one condition? Turned out I was the poster child for magnesium deficiency, headaches, heart palpitations, severe leg cramps, insomnia, muscle aches and pains everywhere. And when I realized that doing the research for the book, I started taking more magnesium and got an immediate laxative effect. When I wrote the book, I became, known as an expert in magnesium. I approached just about every dietary mineral company I knew about and asked them to research and make a non-laxative magnesium. I mean, how hard can it be? But no, no one was no one was interested. So finally, I mean, it was in the 2010, 2012, I finally found a chemist who would create a magnesium that was a stabilized ion of the element of magnesium. So it wasn't bound with something else to make it a magnesium compound. It was on its own. I call it a picometer sized ion of magnesium because that's the size that's required by the cells in the human body, the size of the mineral ion channel that allows minerals into the cells. It was an incredible finding. It's called ReMag, ReMag, and it's the only magnesium that is not laxative. I made such a breakthrough
Oh,
to be
yeah.
able to help people get the amount of magnesium they needed in their bodies to stop this incredible, tangle of symptoms. Because what happens with magnesium deficiency, let me just go, it's in chapter 3 of my Magnesium Miracle book. I have a whole chapter called Anxiety, Depression, and Sleep. Magnesium supports our adrenal glands, which are overworked by stress, leading to combined magnesium deficiency symptoms and adrenal exhaustion symptoms of anxiety, depression, muscle weakness, fatigue, eye twitches, insomnia, anorexia, apathy, apprehension, poor memory, confusion, anger, nervousness, and rapid pulse. So there you have the whole picture of anxiety. And I'm saying that it's through the adrenal glands being overworked and undersupplied with magnesium that leads to this conglomerate. And there's also the fact that serotonin, the feel good brain chemical that's artificially boosted by Prozac, depends on magnesium for its production and function. And magnesium deficiency has been strongly linked to sleep disorders, which can either cause or increase anxiety. That's how I begin the book. But look at how I put it. I thought this was really perfect. I say, how do we graduate from being a calm person in control of our nervous system to an anxious, fearful individual? I think it's due to a gradual but chronic decrease in magnesium reserves. When the body is stressed, and it can be for a dozen different reasons, our magnesium reserves dump this crucial mineral into our bloodstream, and we immediately become one of those people blessed with the ability to cope. We're both calm and alert. Our friends and relatives think it's just who we are, but it's really how much magnesium we have in
Sure.
reserve. Isn't that perfect?
It is perfect, and I still wonder, how magnesium, this magic magnesium, how in the world can magnesium ease all of these symptoms? And
Hmm.
yet it
Mhm.
does.
And yet it does. And what I realized again with the research of really digging deep is 80%, 80% of known metabolic functions require magnesium. That may be a new statistic that I didn't have
Back
5
then,
years
yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
80% and 1,000 enzyme systems require magnesium in the body. When you read about magnesium, you may see them say 300.
Mhm.
Well, it's now 1,000. Thank you very much.
Right. And I know that there are tablets, chelated tablets that you can take as well as ReMag
Mhm.
that don't cause the running to the bathroom effect or the diarrhea. Go
No,
ahead.
not so much. Because see what I also realized when I was able to use high enough dosage, because some people, yes, they'll take the chelated magnesiums and it'll help, they'll feel better. But we've had enough of our 100,000 customers tell us that they've tried other brands. All the magnesium glycinate was said to be kind of non-laxative, but they say it it wasn't until they get to ReMag
That
that
they saw
they
the
could
difference.
take enough. Because with my heart palpitations and all, I had to take 1,200 milligrams of my ReMag in order to, after about a year and a half, to be 100% clear of my heart palpitations, to the point where I could stop taking my ReMag for a day and not get my symptoms back.
Mhm.
And what I realized with most people is, well, let me just draw this back a bit. The RDA for magnesium is like 350 to 400 milligrams. I'm
Right.
taking, I'm talking about taking 1,200 milligrams.
Yeah.
So when you look at an ordinary supplement bottle for magnesium, it'll be like 200, 300 milligrams, and they'll say take one or two a day. And I'm talking about, that 200 milligrams, take six a day.
6 a day, right?
Yeah.
It's much
So,
easier to get ReMag in your system, having used it, much easier, and it lasts longer.
mhm. Right, and just so you won't think I'm still taking 4 teaspoons, what happened when I got saturated, I finally started having a bit of the laxative effect and said, "Oh, I don't need this much."
Mhm.
So I'm now only taking 1 teaspoon, 300 milligrams. We've got this big sinkhole of magnesium deficiency that we have to fill up, and people don't know how good they can feel until they take nutrients that really support them. And
Right.
we shouldn't just leave it at, oh, it's all about magnesium, because as soon as I finished getting this stabilized ion of magnesium, I got with the chemist and made a multiple mineral. And it turns out this ReMyte, the 12 mineral formula, 9 of the minerals support thyroid hormone production. So we've come to the point now where we can support the thyroid, don't need thyroid hormones. In fact, myself and many, many customers came off their thyroid medication when they were able to produce their own.
And is that the RNA reset?
No, it's called ReMyte, ReMyte.
Okay.
Right, right. And what's so incredible too about, the timing of things. Just when I was doing the magnesium deficiency survey the fall of 2019, I also thought, I think we should support vitamin D and do some other
Mhm.
things for the immune system. So I put out a whole line of immune supporting products, because a woman who, she had breast cancer, she found out later she had rock bottom vitamin D. She read all the research, found out vitamin D is necessary to protect the breast against cancer. She got in touch with me through Dr. McCullough, who said, well, Dr. Dean says that magnesium is necessary for the absorption of vitamin D. You better get with her.
Yeah.
So we all got together, and yes, indeed, 8 steps of the processing of vitamin D require magnesium.
Wow,
Eight,
isn't that something?
8 steps. So when people start taking high dose vitamin D and they feel worse, It's because they're using up their magnesium. All of a sudden, I had pico silver. The silver is such an incredible wound healer and immune support, and it stimulates stem cell production. I had pico zinc, which is incredible. It works with hydroxychloroquine. It is the active factor in how hydroxychloroquine works. And all of a sudden, January, February 2020, people needed their immune system
Yeah,
supported.
you were having a whole lot of aha moments at that point, weren't you? Like
Yep,
maybe
yep, yep,
and
yep.
thanking and being so probably so grateful for your work, for the research, for what you've created, and for all of the people you've been able to help be
Mm,
healthy, stay healthy. And that was
yep,
one thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the have you seen lifelong anxiety reversed for your patients?
absolutely, absolutely. What would happen, Shan, is people would come to us with the heart palpitation part of things because written books about the heart. The free ebook now called Heart Health is available on one of my websites, and it was a layer of desperation of people trying to find something other than having the ablation done to
Right.
scar areas of the heart to stop the pacemaker of the heart going erratic. And without doctors realizing that most heart palpitations begin as mineral deficiencies because the electrical conductivity of the heart depends on the minerals. But what happened through the years is they stopped testing or they never did test for magnesium in the electrolyte panel. You can go to your blood tests and look at the electrolytes and you see the calcium and the chloride
Right.
and this and that, but don't see magnesium. And that's because magnesium is so vital that the body will steal magnesium from your bones and muscles and keep it in the bloodstream to keep your heart going properly so that when you test the blood for magnesium, it always looks like there's magnesium there,
Wow.
right? So
Wow.
the doctors just totally missed the whole boat because they get so focused on drugs
Sure.
for your symptoms. They do not look at your nutrients. What did I say earlier? 80% of known metabolic functions depends on magnesium. Your
Yeah.
heart has the largest amount of magnesium in the whole body. So what I was saying is when people come to a doctor who does alternatives and to my company because we talk about the heart. When we ask about their heart palpitations, they also have anxiety or it started with anxiety. They have insomnia. They have the muscle cramps. It's like the anxiety they think is part of their heart palpitations. So I have heart palpitations. I'm worried about my heart, so I get anxious. Or they really get to the point of having panic attacks.
Yeah, it
The
happens a lot. We have health anxiety is the number one thing that Ananga and I hear about from our listeners and
Mhm.
from the people that we connect with the most is that is what they're most worried about. And as I listen to you, I think, oh my goodness, if they could just get more magnesium into their bodies.
Yes.
Can you talk in layman's terms about how magnesium actually calms the nervous system, like why it's so important to calming
Mm.
anxiety?
Well, it works on so many different levels. We talked about the adrenal glands. If your adrenal glands are kind of hyper reactive, that's the type of thing where you hear a loud sound and you jump out of your skin.
Mhm.
I don't do that anymore. I mean, it's just something goes. I mean, people laugh at me because, well, they don't. They're in shock because something huge will happen behind me and I don't even react. It's like
Yoda.
I figure it out
Yeah,
and everybody's running for cover.
right.
But yes, so your adrenal glands are calm and supported. Of course, the adrenal glands they require some vitamin C and the B vitamins and salt, they
Mhm.
require sodium, they require sea salt, they don't require table salt.
Right.
So the first thing we tell people, it's on all my literature, when you get our products, we tell people to hydrate with sea salted water. You can change things in your whole system just by being hydrated. And let me just quickly say, the amount of water I recommend is you take your body weight in pounds, divide that in half, and drink that many ounces of good purified water. That many ounces of water a day, and in every quart or every liter of drinking water, you put a quarter teaspoon of a good sea salt,
Oh,
and
good to know.
that starts your minerals. There's 72 minerals in sea salt. Don't get a refined white sea salt that's refined away a lot of the minerals. Get one that has some color to it, some body to it. So, um,
So would the Himalayan salt be something that
correct.
is
That's
helpful? The
yeah,
Himalayan sea salt? Okay.
yeah, that is a good one. That's from old seabeds that became mountains. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's all I've used for years, years and years and
hmm,
years.
very
But
good.
I'm grateful for this reminder because and it's so interesting that you say that because almost every day I start out with, lemon water, and we have a spring on our property, so I feel very lucky to
Hmm.
have spring water with lemon, and the other day, I thought to add some sea salt to it. Not for
Oh,
it was a knowing, not a
uh-huh.
I don't know how to explain it, other
Mm,
than and then I stopped myself and said, "But I wonder how much?" And I wasn't sure
mm,
how much, and so I think I put a half a teaspoon in, but it was in a 20-ounce
oh,
glass,
that's
and so it was fine. It must have been just a memory that I had that, "Oh, okay,"
hmm,
or my body
right,
was telling me that it needed that.
right,
But yeah,
right.
just the water, I mean, we are so dehydrated on top of everything else.
Yes, yes. And the older you get, Shan, the less you want to drink because you don't want to keep running to the bathroom.
Mhm.
But, but, what happens if you have enough minerals, either the sea salt or, putting my minerals in the water, then those minerals go into the cells, pull water into the cells behind them. And people tell me their leg edema decreases. They stop running to the bathroom so much because their water is going where it's being utilized, and
Right.
they don't get up at night as much. So it's a whole different metabolism we're talking about when you have your minerals and when you have enough water. But let me just quickly say that you were asking, how does magnesium work for anxiety? Well, it also relaxes your muscles. It gets right in there. It sort of pounds away at calcium, pushes calcium out of the cells, and it relaxes the muscle cells, and it also calms the nerve cells. Calcium and magnesium have this big battle where if you have too much calcium, you're compressing your muscles. Your muscles contract with calcium influence, and then they relax with magnesium influence. It's a push pull. And the same with the nervous system. If you allow too much calcium in your body that gets into your nerve cells, they fire spasmodically and to the point of cell death. So that's the nervous twitches you see in people's eyes or you feel in various parts of your body. And that's what causes spasms. Muscle spasms are too much calcium and not enough magnesium. So magnesium actually dissolves calcium in soft tissues where calcium should not be, and magnesium actually directs calcium into the bones and teeth. So, I mean, there's several reasons right there. If
Sure,
you have,
sure. And it's gotta very help too, as you age, you hear about so many people who have foot problems, and their
mm,
feet are stiff and the calcification that's
yes,
happening there. I'm intuiting that, but that's gotta
yeah,
be
exactly. And with sleep, if your muscles are tight, your body does not softly go into a deep sleep. It stays in a hypervigilant kind of sleep where you wake up at the slightest noise. So There's insomnia, how insomnia is created by magnesium deficiency. And it does go on and on. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
grinding of your teeth, you mentioned atherosclerosis, even asthma, where the bronchial tubes can be in spasm from magnesium deficiency. Cholesterol, actually, magnesium is a natural statin. It
Wow.
stops your body from forming too much cholesterol. Chronic fatigue, people who've gone through chronic fatigue are very magnesium deficient. Irritable bowel syndrome, the cramping of irritable bowel is the intestines going into spasm around the gas that's formed by irritable bowel. I mean, it's just quite incredible
It really
the
is.
list.
And it's
Mm.
so let's tell our listeners how they can get ReMag and learn more about the minerals that you're offering, because it
Of course.
really is so incredibly powerful and helpful. And as you said, you've seen countless people reverse anxiety and then all of the other good things that come with it, that come with it.
Exactly, exactly. The bonus points. Yes. The shop site is rnareset.com. The R is for relax, the N is an and the A is allow. Relax and allow. You like
Love
that.
it. Love it.
And for all the free ebooks, including Magnesium Deficient Anxiety, 22 free ebooks, you can go to drcarolyndeanlive.com.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I'm
Mhm.
incredibly grateful for our connection, for my own experience using ReMag, for because I can really tell a difference in my body since I have been upping the amount of magnesium. I still have a ways to go based
Mhm.
on some of the things that you had to say today, and my body changing and moving into menopause, and things are kind of really
Mm.
getting shaken up right now.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
may need to be recalibrating or recalculating some things, but I'm here to say that it's really very, very helpful. And you have so many case studies that prove it as well. And of course, your
Mhm.
body of work for a lifetime.
And I thank you so much. And I thank you for promoting, what I'm doing as well as what I've created, because people may say, well, she's just trying to sell you something. But
Mm-mm.
heaven forbid, nobody in all the 50 years I've been doing medicine has come up with a non-laxative magnesium. And if I didn't do it, nobody would, and we
Right.
would still be having, the same problems as we have had in these past decades. I thank you so much for being so positive about my work.
Oh, absolutely. That's easy. Thanks again.
Thank you, Shan. I appreciate you very much.
That was Dr. Carolyn Dean. Download a free copy of How to Live Anxiety Free with Magnesium at her website, drcarolyndeanlive.com. That link is a little bit longer, so go to our show notes and you'll get right there. But if you get to her main site, you will be able to find it. Plus, you can learn how to get access to ReMag at RnA Reset.com. Thanks for listening.